Right, good afternoon, folks. I have got our number one motivational speaker, Brad Burton, with me today. We're just going to talk about what's going on at the moment, how people are coping, and hopefully Brad will give us some tips. So over to you, Brad. Tell me what's happening in the world.
So I've run a business now for 14 years, a business called 4 Networking. It's a business networking organisation, and we've had it since 2006. And then we run over 5,000 meetings across the UK every single year. Like, it's a business networking organisation with thousands of members. Then, of course, COVID-19 comes along and says, actually, you're not allowed to have any face-to-face interaction anymore. So my business literally fell off a cliff 14 days ago. So a multi-million-pound business gone overnight. And when I say gone, I always ask this question, Sally, and it's a great one for your audience, which is this. When any problem comes your way, ask yourself a question: what does this make possible? And it's a question that I asked myself. And what it made possible, it's a bit like playing poker. You've got a pair of twos. And actually, you know what? All in. And that's what we've done. We've gone all in. And effectively, we put the old network in hibernation, and we've launched 4 Networking version 2.0 using this platform Zoom, plus our thousands of members around the UK. We've actually recreated 4 Networking online and done it beautifully. So what it makes possible, certainly for us, is a new start, and being really honest and saying, okay, if I designed my business, today, I wouldn't have designed it like I did 14 years ago. So, for instance, I've got an iPhone 10 here. 14 years ago, I had a BlackBerry. And you couldn't have got that off me. You couldn't have got it out of my hands. And then all of a sudden, after a few years, you try an iPhone 4, and now you've got iPhones. I think what's happened is this 4 Networking 2.0 has made the old network look old-fashioned and fuddy-duddy. The fact that I can teleport, anywhere around the UK, anywhere around the world, and have networking meetings. If you wanted to go to London from Somerset, I can go there at 9:30, and then when I finish that meeting at 11 o'clock, I then go to Manchester, then I go to Scotland. So you're always going to the new boy. It's really exciting. 4nonline.biz.
Did you get scared at all, Brad? Was there any point in this that actually scared you?
No, because I've come from council estates all my life and never had a pot to piss in. So actually going back to bird's eye potato waffles and beans doesn't bother me, like genuinely. And I ask this question, I say to people who are fretting throughout this time, and I get it, it's an unprecedented time and it's scary and this, that and the other. However, let me put this in perspective. 3 questions I ask your audience to consider. Number 1, are you going to starve to death? No. Number 2, are you going to lose your home, your mortgage, your rent, your house? No, you might get a few snotty letters, and you get a little bit away, but you ain't going to lose your house. You don't suddenly go, oh, guess what? I'm not paying my mortgage. Oh my gosh, they're coming to reclaim my house. It doesn't work like that. So as long as you know the game, that you've got 6 months or whatever to play a little bit sticky, you can do. And the 3rd question I'd ask is, are you going to die? So are you going to starve? Are you going to lose your home? Are you going to die? If the answer is no, guess what? You're one up on the 1,400 people that have died so far as a result of COVID. So I think you kind of need to count your lucky stars about what you have got. So when it comes to me getting frightened about business, not really. I'd start again, because what allows you to do what an expert is someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. When it comes to business networking, I've made them all. When it comes to life, I've made them all. Business, made them all. Marriage, made them all. Health, made them all. And the reason that you make mistakes is it moves you 1 step towards success, and that experience allows you to avoid making those mistakes in future. So just to put this in perspective, it took me 4 years to get 120 real life groups around the UK. Okay, 120. We are looking that we're going to surpass that online with exactly the same sort of member numbers within 3 weeks. So you can see previously 4 years of experience, 3 weeks, and we're bigger and better than that before. So that's why I always ask the question, what does this make possible? And this makes possible a fresh start for everyone.
Yeah, because the other thing I keep seeing at the moment, and I think you haven't done this, is a lot of people talk about pivoting, which pivoting, a lot of people are taking as offering something cheaper, offering to me, and it's offering less value. Whereas what I see, because obviously being in your mentoring group, you've kept us going, you've kept the ideas flowing, kept us sane, and I don't consider myself lucky to have it. I think if you want something, you'll go out and find that, which for me was finding Now What Club. You give me that mentorship, so I'm not blowing dust up your arse, I'm telling you that that's kept me going.
Thank you.
But the pivoting that I'm seeing is cheaper. It's almost like the tacky side of the side of things, but you've not done that. What do you say to people that are doing that?
Listen, I mean, needs must, but desperation sells nothing, right? Desperation sells nothing. And the problem you've got is when you start moving your line around too much, is that you end up forgetting who you are and why you're doing it. Now, let me be quite clear. I've got a frantic wife downstairs worrying about everything. Now, the great thing about worry is it works because everything you worry about never fucking happens. So, I don't spend my time, I've got a friend of mine who's an SAS guy, he's a mentor of mine. And this is what they do. They do not panic. What they do is ask themselves a question, what do I need to do right now to get through this? And actually, that's the approach that I've taken to this. So when it comes to pivoting, we've had to do the 180 degrees pivot, no question, but I don't use that terminology. But what I've done is I've got something sustainable that will last beyond this. And that's the thing, because you fire sailing stuff, the problem is it weakens you for when this thing comes round. So, people, here we go. So 6 weeks ago, the other day I went to get some vegetables from the farm shop. So the lady behind the counter went, coughed. And I went, okay. So if she'd not coughed, I wouldn't have been this hypervigilant. But she coughed, right? Now, if she didn't give me that tell, I should have still been hypervigilant right now, but I wasn't. She coughed. As I'm driving back with this stinger, I said to the wife, can you look online and see what you've got to do with vegetables to ensure that it's not got COVID on? So I'm driving back, and when I get back, I put that on the island. She puts it into a bucket, bicarbonate of soda for 15 minutes, and I takes my clothes off in the kitchen, puts them in the washing machine, and I goes upstairs and has a shower instantly. Now, 6 weeks ago, if I would have done that, everyone would have gone, you're crazy, you.
Yeah.
Doing it now is the right thing. Now, here's the thing. 6 weeks ago, business, it's the same principle. What you did 6 weeks ago is crazy now. So you need to change. You need to change, and that's what we've done. I've gone, forget the old world. Forget the old world. I said to the wife, I said, let me put this in perspective. Richard Branson's got millions of pounds, let's say, £100 million spare. If his child needed Calpol, and there was no Calpol to be bought, he would pay £100,000 for a bottle of Calpol, right? He wouldn't say, oh, well, keep the 100 grand. It's valueless, because right now money's valueless. What's valuable right now is what you do in this time, right? We are in lockdown, and actually this is your opportunity to make changes to your life, make changes to your business, sustainable changes to your life, sustainable changes to your business, and not be flip-flopping around and actually just trying to survive. This is not, there's a ways of meaning. What I mean by that is that you would be better, rather than selling HR advice for $9.99, you'd be better flipping, going to Tesco's and working the shelves there where no one looks, rather than going overt and saying this. Like this. I had people tell me that I'm profiteering with my business. Well, last time I checked, I've got mortgage payments to pay. Last time I checked, I've got staff that needed paying. Last time I checked, I've got people that needed paying. So the only way that I can pay those people is by making money. If I don't make money, they don't get paid. So, I don't believe it's profiteering at all. I believe it's actually part of the fight back for this country, that we need to trade as we always did, as best as possible.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. In respect of your own personal, yourself, are you changing? Are you growing anyway? Are you doing any personal development while you're in lockdown? Because I know you're still running the business, obviously. But as you said, there's a lot of self-reflection goes on.
Oh, no question. But the changes that I've been making here is I'm questioning whether I've been doing things right for a long time, such as time with the family. Now, I've not had any time with the family, even though I've been locked down, because I've been dealing with the immediacy of dealing with fires. So, I can't go and play football right now because I'm dealing with the immediacy of fires. And that's like something that I wrote in my book, Life Business Just Got Easier. This whole thing about finding time, because one day we're going to have no time for the family and you're going to wish you'd spent time, not on a proposal. But I am looking at this and questioning whether or not I need an office, right? Yeah. But do I really need an office? A really posh office that I've got in Taunton? Probably not. I'm questioning whether I used to drive to 4 networking meetings, so I do 13 meetings in a week as part of the sort of 4 networking is 14. 13 meetings, 1,200 miles, 600 quid on fuel and hotels or whatever. I'm questioning whether I can just do this from the comfort of my own home, which is what I'm doing at the moment. So I can do 13 in a day. So there's lots of things that I'm questioning. But right now, I'll tell you what's great is that my now what training has kind of served me well, because I've not panicked. I've been the product. I had 2 spikes last week, one on Monday, one on Friday. So if you said to me, what's my panic levels at, 10 being panicking, 1 not, I was at 2 generally last week. However, on the Monday and the Wednesday, I had spikes, not panicking, but stress. So I was working from 5 till 9, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, I had to blow my ears out because we had blood pressure. And I went, you know what, fuck this. I fucking pushed away from Dinger, run the bath, turned my phone on airplane mode, and had a bath for 30 minutes, brought it down. And there's something else I did on Wednesday, I can't remember what it was, but a similar sort of situation. The old Brad, I would have kept working beyond that. And actually now you're redlining. So if you think about a car with the revs, 9,000 revs, you put another 1,000 revs on there, you're blowing the gasket. If it's at 7,000 revs, and so you've got to maintain. So it's served me beautifully, the whole approach that I've taken to my life, in that it's kind of prepared me for a war, which is, all this kind of stuff there, right? I've kind of got myself in war mode right now. Just for the time being. So I need to be slightly not more ruthless, because that's not where I'm at, but more driven than I normally am. And funny enough, I've got my, I've actually got it here. Look at this, let me just show you this.
You've got your beret, haven't you? Yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised people let you wear that.
So I've got my beret. But I mean, listen, just a bit of fun. But it's also, like I say, it's kind of, from a branding perspective, it's a bit of fun. And I've made something of this time, which is, I'm never, once this all falls away, this won't be here. But right now, it just kind of gets me in the mode that what we're trying to do, staying vigilant, bit of fun.
I know one of the funny things, conversations I had with my daughter last night was, she's 19, she's at university, so she's at home at the moment, but still studying. They're studying via Zoom. And she's been a bit up and down. And one of the things she said to me is, as a parent, normally we know what's coming. We can advise, and you can say, right, okay, you're all right, because in the next few weeks, this will happen to you. And she said it suddenly hit her this week that, as a mother, I can't tell her what's going to happen. And she said that's what's causing her the anxiety at the moment, that I can't catch her, because I don't know what's going to happen either.
Well, no, but there's one guarantee, that Mum still loves you. There's one guarantee that I'm always going to be here for you, right? And this is why we have to behave and be more vigilant than ever before. That every time you get a postman and you anti-back wiper, and we remain clean, because actually this will end at some point. And actually, as long as it ends and you're still healthy and your relationship is intact, it's fine. So, from my perspective, with daughter, I would say I can tell you one guarantee. What's that? That Mum loves you, and it always has done. And right now, it's that kind of conversations that you wouldn't normally have. We don't talk like that, Mum. Right now, you can kind of have them.
Yeah, you're right, and we have been, and I think it's quite bizarre. I've seen a couple of videos recently where people are spending more time together, and actually, what will come out of this is less materiality, more quality of time.
So I've been on that one for a long time, and people, don't get me wrong, I like stuff, of course, right? But it's not it's genuinely, like, I've got every material thing that I could ever wish for, right? Genuinely, like, it comes to a point when, I've got an arcade machine, for Christ's sakes. I mean, what is that about? That was a childhood dream. I realised the childhood dream. I said, as I've been an 8-year-old, I'm going to get an arcade machine. And actually, there comes a point where my relationship with money has changed. I used to give my last pound away to a big issue salesman. And then I realised something. In the event of an emergency, place your own oxygen mask on before you help others. I needed to be strong. The more clout I've got, the more power, the more influence, the more I can help people. So that changed everything with my relationship to money. But equally, I'm also not that twat who's got 10,000 sports cars or whatever, which you just think, what, a gold taps. There comes a point when actually the most valuable thing that we have is time, and it's the one where people take so just throw it away. Since we've been on the call, I always have time looking at. I have a timer.
Yeah, I know.
I always have a timer. because but people don't just have these never-ending just times, and I put times to everything, because actually that is our biggest asset and our biggest credibility. Our biggest asset that we can use at any given moment. But people just fritter it away on shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, are you going to be more involved than you ever were, or have been in the last couple of years in Foreign, or will you still maintain sort of sort of strategic roles.
Yeah. So there's no way in this world that after 14 years I'm going to step away, right? That's the reality of it. I've got an amazing management team, and really I think where I'm going to be is I trust them implicitly, and it's a case of me really just chipping in when, like this, for instance, right now with this situation with COVID, me as a leader needed to step up. I had to have those uncomfortable conversations that no one else would want to do. And you can't, Rusty, the SES guy, said something to me, you can't delegate responsibility. And it's like, yes, you're right. And that's it. It's on me to do the things that I'm asking other people to do. So do I think that I'll be back full time? No. Do I think that I'll spread my time across phone networking and my own stuff, speaking and what have you? Yes. So phone networking is my baby. And this has the opportunity right now to be as big as it always was intended to be, and actually become the Facebook of business networking. And I truly believe that, given that we've done 4 years growth in three weeks, it's like unprecedented.
So when we come out of this, 4NE is going to be completely different again.
Good question. I think we'll have two layers. I think we'll have the real life network and we'll have the online. I think those two will mesh. Whether we'll have monthly big meetings or whatever, I have no idea. Invariably it'll change in the same way that we're all going to change, in the same way that the world is going to change. So I have no idea. But what I do know is that 2 weeks ago, if we'd not moved fast, I would be literally, we've managed to avoid every single government grant, every single government inducement or financial support. We don't cut for any of them. So we would be in a really dangerous, volatile situation. And if I didn't do phone networking, I'd have to do something else. But I'm good. I'm good with this, and it's going to be amazing success story from this times, because it's forced us into doing decisions that we would never have made. If somebody would have said 6 weeks ago, do what we're doing with phone networking online, I would go, get out of it. Get out of it. I'd have thrown them out of the office. Looking at it now, it looks like phone networking, the online bit, is the future.
Yeah. So give me another word for pivot then. I need a new word for pivot. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, maybe change direction. I don't know. I mean, for me, pivot is a bit of a poncy word that you'd see in a book. Just change direction. Prior to being called pivot, it'd be called change direction. I think change direction, opportunity to change direction. I'd say change direction over pivot, but again, it's a funky.
Yeah, no, I just hate the word now. And I say, I know you haven't done it, and it's something that you haven't. It's something that you've maintained with all of us. Is don't change, don't stop selling, don't just reflect.
But I mean, like from my perspective, I'm encouraging people to keep doing the business, because sitting here worrying about COVID or waiting for the storm to blow over, that doesn't help anyone. And so many people are waiting for the government to bail them out or waiting for the government to fix them. It's like there's no cavalry unless you create it, unless you've got a cavalry now in the club or for networking. You've got a cavalry. You have got a cavalry of people that you've kind of handpicked or met along the way or picked up and hoarded and actually kept them to help you going forward, because we are social animals. We all need to belong, and that applies to me as well. Because, I know that when I started my first business up before phone networking, I was in my box room, and if I had the opportunity to network at £5 plus VAT a day, 4 or 5 times, why on earth would I get a Yale.co.uk advert for 600 quid and be passive and wait when actually I can go and speak to 20, 30 people from around the UK and sell my products and services? Mental, nuts.
I know, I must admit, the bit I've liked about it is I've been able to travel back up north without actually moving from Kent.
So you can meet people who lived in your own town and stuff. It's crazy. Like I say, it almost makes the old style way of doing it look backwards, which is odd. And that's why we called it version 2.0. So we had the 1.0. So it might be that we go back to phone networking classic, which is the thing, twinned with this online network as well. I have no idea. But right now, the immediate we've dealt with it, and we've done beautifully. And, I'm in a war zone, war mentality. It's great because, I'm going to look back at this time and it's going to be unrepeatable. So, when I look at a startup business before networking, I had so much fun with that, traveling around the UK, meeting new people, doing deals, this, that, and the other. I'm never going to have a startup again, but I've got an opportunity right now to have a second bite of that cherry and actually embrace it. Like this era, like I say, will be for 3 or 4 or 5 months, that's it. And afterwards, it'll go away and it'll go on my shelf in my man cave. And it's just like it's just a pivotal moment in life. So rather than just meandering and using this time to be like any other time, I've made it something. Stay vigilant. I've made it a bit of fun.
Yeah. So give me a tip for the day then, before I send this out.
I think that more than ever before, you will find a way. you will find a way. Your biggest chance of success is this, your brain. And it's the one that actually is our biggest chance of failure, because what we end up doing when we get overloaded is that we shut down, and people under stress don't make great decisions. So the idea is to lower your stress levels. Lower your stress levels. If you're stressed, don't be making any decisions. Do what I did. Go and run a bath, turn your phone off for an hour, listen to some music, have a dance, whatever. Right now, I walked the dog a few days ago, and I walked around with a Bluetooth speaker in my pocket on my parka jacket, and it was playing music. And my wife's going, as I walk through the village, she's going, "Oh, what are you doing, you lunatic?" I went, "Listen, it's a new. You can do. I wouldn't do that in the normal way, but right now, fuck it. You know, it's a new. Yeah. So if people think that, I'm stupid, that's okay, because I'm enjoying life. I'm making the best out of this shit situation, and that's all we can all do. Make the best out of this shit situation, because there's nothing more that we can do other than wash our hands, stay at home, save the NHS. There's nothing more that we can do other than all that we can do. But it's so important that we do adhere to this lockdown throughout this and get through it. And this is what I'm doing. I'm having fun on some what really would be a morose time for most normal people. I'm using this to think, you know what's great about this is we're not having bombs dropped on us as well, because there's countries out there that are getting bombs dropped on them as well, and their children don't know if they're going to wake up the next day. So put it in perspective. As long as you lock your doors and as long as you anti-back everything, you're going to be safe and you're going to get through this. 3 questions. Ask yourself a question. Are you going to starve? Are you going to lose your home? Are you going to die? If the answer is no, you've got nothing to worry about. Relax. It's all going to work out just as it should do. And we will get through this together.
Thanks so much, Brad. It's been really good talking to you. And I feel a bit more motivated myself now as well. So thanks.
You don't need to edit that. Get it out there. Just get it up good enough. You don't need to edit it. Save it. Put it on today. Stop it. You don't need to get it perfect, Sally. Just get it going. People would appreciate listening to this message today. Get it out. That's my advice.